We've all seen Luis Arraez doing these drills that basically get his entire body out of the swing. He's practicing the prototypical way in which conventional instruction wants you to swing. This is because instruction in sports always veers hard towards consistency and wants to disparage any notion that power is important. You see this across the instructional landscape of all sports. And baseball is no different. They glamorize this slap-hitting style. Why do they do this? Well, because they don't understand what produces power mechanically. And so if they don't understand it, they would rather just play down its importance, trivialize it, and sell you on just going for consistency. Arraez right now in 173 at-bats has 0 home runs with a 301 average. Now, that 301 average, that's good, and I'm sure he'll finish above 300. But this emphasis on high average is way overblown in baseball culture right now. Look at Wade Boggs, Rod Carew, Tony Gwynn. These guys were some of the best high average hitters. They all finished with about a 132 OPS plus. That's a great score. These guys were no doubt great hitters. But they just can't compare to the guys who have high power. Ken Griffey Jr.'s career batting average was 44 points lower than Wade Boggs and Rod Carew, 54 points lower than Tony Gwynn, and yet he had a higher OPS plus than all of them. Why? Well, because he had more power. It doesn't make sense to structure your swing to just go for slap hits. Because even if you're the absolute best slap hitter, like a Tony Gwynn, you still won't be as productive at the plate as a guy who has decent average but high power. If you're going to be touching the ball as much as these guys did, it just doesn't make sense to just be going for slap hits. This is something that Ted Williams himself was saying all the time about these guys from the 1980s. He would say that they should have more power.
Rod Carew, I call him a great ping hitter. He can hit the bat on the ball, and he can hit anybody. And as outstanding and as great as he is as a hitter, I still think that he should have hit more home runs.
The question is, will Luis Arraez hit even 1 home run this year?
Can he do it? Most experts doubt it.
Let's compare Arraez to a player that's playing right now, Jose Altuve. Altuve weighs 10 pounds less than Arraez, and yet hits for more power. Doesn't quite have the consistency as Arraez, but still has a higher OPS plus. What is the difference mechanically? Altuve gets more hand depth. He gets straighter in that lead arm. This is the big thing that's missing in today's instruction. Everyone just wants to talk about increasing bat speed.
This is like supernatural quick, otherworldly launch quickness. It is so sudden. We all need to be this sudden.
But the positions that you achieve through the swing matter. And if you don't get hand depth to start the swing, it's going to be real hard to be well connected at contact. Altuve gets straighter in that lead arm. He gets more hand depth, and he is more connected at contact. When we look at the drills that Arraez is doing, these drills where he's literally taking out his body rotation from the swing, his body rotation is contributing almost nothing to the power in his swing. He's doing this thing where he's looking at the point of contact well after contact is made. That has never made any sense at all. You can be a great slap hitter with this kind of swing, but you've set the bar on your limit lower than you really have to. You might as well go for high power and high consistency. There's no evidence really that increasing consistency will decrease power or vice versa. None of the truly best hitters of all time, the guys with extremely high OPS plus numbers, and that is really the best way to measure a hitter's overall value at the plate. None of these guys had a slap hitting approach. They tended to get longer in their lead arm. They don't try to keep their head down at the point of contact, and they're very lead arm dominant in their structure. And what I mean by lead arm dominant, it doesn't mean that the lead arm is doing more. It almost has very little to do with that, actually. All it means is, at the time that you're learning the swing, if you are dominant in your lead arm, then you are equally less dominant in your back arm. And that is really the key, because it's the back arm overexerting that makes us develop a swing structure that is just not conducive for consistently hitting the ball with a high amount of power. And for most people, the structure that they develop when they're first learning the swing is the structure that they stay with for the rest of their lives. This is why understanding what produces power has been so difficult, because the guys who have a lot of power, they don't feel that their back arm is contributing less. It was just at the time that they were learning the swing, it was contributing less. It wasn't overexerting in the swing. It wasn't taking over, because it couldn't. We don't really feel dominance in either arm. So this is okay, because now we know what leads to a swing that is less than ideal in baseball. It has to do with a back arm that overexerts at the time that you're learning the swing. So now all we have to do is retrain our swing. What you don't want to do is these drills that Arraez is doing, where you're only encouraging the back arm to overexert. When you blunt body rotation, when you slow it down and you speed up your hands, this is more of a back arm dominant movement. These drills that Arraez is doing, although they are really popular now and everybody just assumes that they are the prudent, wise approach to swing mechanics, I have news for you. They are not wise. They are not smart. And the only thing that they'll really give you is a ceiling on your potential. When I say go for power, I'm not talking about the launch angle craze. I'm not talking about trying to angle your swing to lift the ball more. It has to do with just delivering more force into the ball. When you deliver more force into the ball more consistently, you're going to get your fair share of home runs. And by the way, batting average also has to do a lot with how often you hit the ball with a lot of force. This is why we don't need to sacrifice power for consistency. The best hitters simply hit the ball more consistently with a high amount of force. The way to do that is to get your body into the swing. Do the opposite of what Arraez is doing for his drills. Leave your hands behind. Go ahead and set up the tee high and tight, but hit it in a way that your hands are being more left behind, your body is leading the way, and you're rotating open to hit the ball. Don't just assume the pros have it all figured out. The lead arm progression, guys, is really the main drill that you need to stay on. You simply swing with your lead arm, get a feel for what that feels like, rotate into the hit, allow your body to be well rotated at contact. You'll notice it's actually easier to hit the inside pitch the more rotated you are. Allow your body to rotate. This doesn't mean you're going to slide off the ball, as all of the instructors say. Just the opposite, actually. The more you rotate through the hit, the less you're going to be slicing the ball to the opposite field. Can you still hit to the opposite field when you rotate your body open? Of course you can. Just set it up on a tee and try it. It's the best way to hit to the opposite field. Allow your body to be more involved in the swing. I know it seems like there's so many people in conventional instruction doing these kind of drills and advocating for these kind of drills. So it seems like, how in the world could they actually be wrong? Just because a lot of people are backing something doesn't mean that it's the best way. We happen to be going through a period of time in swing instruction where the conventional way, the popular way, is actually pretty off base. Stick with the lead arm progression, swing with just your lead arm, get a feel for that action, slowly add your back arm. Let it contribute in time. Just don't let it contribute in a forceful exertion in the outward direction. So thank you guys for watching. Check out my website, theswingmechanic.com. I appreciate everyone's support. See you in the next one.